Going on YouTube? Morning to everybody, live from New York City. Hope you guys are having a great day so far. Let me turn off the volume on this thing. Turn it down anyway. All right. So, what's going on, John? Good morning to you. Let me know if you guys have any issues with the audio or the video streaming from my hotel, so I don't know how good the internet is here. Hey, Jess. It's freezing here. Not so bad today. I haven't actually been outside yet today, but the temperature is definitely not as bad. I'm here in Manhattan, in New York City. Yesterday was my daughter's awesome graduation, so just wanted to say hi to everybody. Haven't been on YouTube in a couple of days. What's going on tomorrow? Got John, Jessica, and Tamara. Welcome, welcome, guys. So yeah, I just wanted to let you know I'm a very, very proud dad today. It's so weird saying that still. 18 years old, and my younger daughter is 16, going to be 17, 2 months. So yeah, my daughter had a graduation yesterday, and wow, what an accomplishment, you know, my kids have been through a lot with everything, not just the obvious of me going to prison, but, you know, me and my ex-wife divorcing, and then moving to New York, and the struggles. And it's not cheap to live in New York City, for those of you that don't know. They live in the city. They live in Brooklyn. And please let me know if the audio's, I'm not yelling because I'm sitting here in a hotel lobby, so let me know if you guys can't hear too well. And I can always do this video later if it's an issue, but I'm just really, really excited. And I figured we could also talk a little bit about what's going on. As you guys saw, if you didn't see, that's not the city. What's not the city? Brooklyn? Brooklyn's the city. Audio is good. Thanks, Tamara. But my kids practically live in the city. Even though they live in Brooklyn, they're in the city 24/7. And it's weird. New York will really... Jessica, you said you're from New York, so you could probably attest to this. It seems like growing up in New York really kind of helps you become self-sustaining. You know, you learn the subways and traveling and becoming more self-aware and confident. I mean, watching my kids travel, you know, an hour in one direction and getting on and off these subways, and they just know every train and where it's supposed to go. It's mind-boggling to me. I'm still looking at my GPS going, are you sure we're on the right train? Or it's a very confusing city. I'm used to South Florida, where everything's just kind of flat. You go east, you hit the ocean. You go west, you hit the country. Head north, you run into whatever, and go south, you run into Miami. So it's been an experience. This is my 4th or 5th time coming up here to see them. My daughter, Lauren, my little one, she's been staying in the hotel with me, which has been really cool. I just sent her off to school. She had school today, and they'll be here tonight after they get out. And then I leave tomorrow, so the trip was way too fast, but I'll probably be back in a couple of months. But yeah, so in other news, I don't know if you guys have seen or not, but we've been following a prison consultant company for the last couple of years. Did videos on them, trying to expose the negative things that they were doing to the industry. RDAP Law Consultants. We've done a couple of videos on those guys, and they just got federally indicted. And I think tomorrow, I think you saw it. I'm pretty sure you sent me a message about that. But yeah, so it's been, these guys are finally getting brought down. You know, for those of you that wonder why, it's because of very, very, very unethical, shady practices, to the point where their only real focus was on, I don't want to use the word helping, because helping is an overstatement, but trying to get people into RDAP has been what their focus has been on, but doing it in the wrong way, telling people to lie about substance abuse, and way beyond just lying. They were flat out telling people to take specific drugs to appear to have withdrawals and appear to show up drunk at prison. I mean, just as bad as it could get. This is what they've been doing for years and years. Getting away with it? Clearly not. They've been on some sort of a radar. So they have been federally indicted. One of the main guys if any of you have dealt with RDAP law consultants, you might know him as Ang Nugent, which is not, or Ung, or Ang, however you want to pronounce his name, A-N-G-H, I think, and which is not his real name. His real name is Tony Pham. So him and the whole crew, they got brought down, and it's nice to see. Hopefully it doesn't hurt the industry, because, you know, it doesn't take much press to latch on and say the whole industry is destructive. But I think if anybody does their homework and research, they'll see that companies like that, and there's a couple of others out there. I'm not going to lie, I'm not a huge fan of jail time consultants either. You know, it was RDAP Dan, throw somebody under the bus, backing up and rolling over them. You know, jail time consultants, they do some unethical things as well. They sent one of my clients a letter telling her that if she hired them first, then when she didn't get any phone calls back from them, she reached out to us. We explained the actual process, what could work for her obstacles, what they were going to be, and she decided to fire them and hire us. And in the meantime, trying to get her money back from them, they sent her a letter saying, if you don't pay us in full, we're going to create a document, send it to the courts, which will put a detainer on you, which will prevent you from getting into RDAP, going to a camp, or any additional halfway house, which is complete BS. No prison consultant has the power to do that. It's no different than you owing any other creditor money. Worst case scenario, they could try to put some kind of a civil judgment on you at best. But it was a scare tactic to get her to pay, because now she called me crying, thinking they were going to prevent her from getting into a camp, things like that, which is just not true. So anybody that would go to such low, lengthy blows like that, and I'll probably be turning that information over to the authorities, just because that's what will cause harm to this industry and cause harm to those of you that actually need legitimate help getting ready to go into the prison system, whether it's trying to qualify for RDAP or trying to find out what type of prison system you're going to go into, how you should be preparing your letters, you know, getting involved in the community. And the people that we help, I believe they have a very, very strong understanding of what you actually can do and what you actually can't do. And the things that some of these companies tell people to do is just, you know, most people that are in this industry, they've probably spent time. They've probably been down. They got into it because they realized there was a need for it. But at some point, they kind of went off the rocker and started doing things that could end up landing them back in prison, which blows my mind. God, I never want to have that feel again of being investigated or being indicted or the thought of what's coming next. And that's what these guys put themselves through by just being shady and not having any real value or any real service. They fall back on making the pie in the sky dream. Oh, we can guarantee to get you RDAP. We can guarantee to get you 18 months off. It's an impossible thing to say. And anybody that's been through it or even been into the prison system and understands it, we know that the Bureau of Prisons has final say over that. The only thing we can do as consultants is educate you to make sure that you understand, to be completely brutally honest during your pre-sentence investigation. And for those of you that did have substance abuse issues that did not disclose it during your pre-sentence report, the question is why? And a lot of people will come back and look at you and say, well, did you not disclose it because you didn't really have issues? Or did you not disclose it because maybe your attorney told you not to, or maybe you were ashamed or embarrassed? That happens all the time. We talk to people that legitimately think they have issues, but they didn't want to tell anybody, or they thought maybe they could get in more trouble. And that's a different situation. But you're still going to have to be able to really explain yourself as to why you didn't do it. And then in the off chance that that's the issue, then that's where a substance abuse evaluation from a professional, from a chemical dependency professional, could assist you with possible entry into the program. But even then, it's still stretch. It's still not going to be easy. It's not a walk in the park. You still have to, you have to be able to explain this to the Bureau of Prisons. You have to be able to explain this to the RDAP coordinator, and then they have to agree to accept you into the program. And it's not going to happen for everybody. So if you're watching these videos, before you do your pre-sentence investigation, be honest. Do not be embarrassed. Do not be shy. Do not have this sense of pride that you don't want to tell anybody because it's embarrassing. If you're trying to get help for your situation and you're hoping that in the meantime you can also qualify for time off, you need to open up and share. This is not the time to shut down. Let's see if we got any messages here. I have taken the train, Jess. I really enjoy it. Jess asked me if I took the train. A client of mine lives up here, and he picked us up at the airport. He had a a newer BMW X5 that he was going to give me to use while I was up here. And Shelly said, no, let's just travel like we're one of the city folk. So we've been taking the subway, and we haven't even Ubered yet, and it's fucking cold. Yesterday, we woke up at, I think it was 3 degrees. It was really cold. I know some of you right now, depending where you live in, like Chicago, I think you're in Chicago, Jess. Really cold, really, really cold. You guys were like negative 17 or 18 degrees or something like that. But yeah, yesterday was freezing. We had to go get a card, and we got some flowers, and then we went to the graduation and enjoyed that experience. And I took my daughters and my ex-wife and me and Shelly. We all went out to dinner. We had a great dinner. It was just nice seeing everybody together, getting along. And for those of you that wonder, yes, me and my ex-wife, we are cordial. We do get along. We're not like, buddies or pals, but we're respectful of each other, and we do get along. And she gets along with Shelly. Shelly's been in my children's lives since 2006, so she's been in their lives for most of their life. So they call her Step Shelly or Stepmom, which is funny. So yeah, so it's awesome. I'm just really having a good time, man. Enjoying life, enjoying this whole freedom thing. It still feels so surreal to me that I'm free to go wherever I want. Trying to get my passport right now. I want to do traveling. I'm really just looking forward to what comes next. And this is all possible because of you guys and making this channel grow to the point where it's turned itself into a self-sustaining business. We're not like a lot of these other prison consultant agencies that spend tons of money on advertising and telemarketing and really calling people out of the blue that aren't expecting the call. We figure we put these videos out there. If you find these videos and you find value in the work that we do, you're going to reach out to us and you're going to ask us if we can help you. I came from the background of telemarketing and call centers and things like that. And I've never been a fan of calling people and convincing them they need something. This is a service that if you listen to the value, you do your homework, you do your due diligence, you get to make your own educated decision on whether or not a prison consultant can assist you or not. And in most cases, if you really look at the facts and you can afford whatever the value of it is, then 9 times out of 10, you're probably going to end up using a consultant if you're getting ready to go into the prison system for the first time. There's just the values there, plain and simple. You just have to be looking for the value and understand what it is, and understand that personal narratives and character reference letters do play a huge role in your ability to share your story with the judge. What's important is you make sure it's your story. You don't want to go out and hire somebody and say, here, write my story for me, and then tell me what I should say. You need to explain yourself. You need to give the details. You need to tell us who you are, and then we can help educate you into how you should craft this narrative for the best possible outcome. Asking somebody to write your story, it's not going to be your words. It's not going to be your story. They're not going to know enough about you to write your life story and why you did what you did. You're going to be standing in front of a judge, and if he asks you any questions about the story and it's not yours, you're not going to be able to answer truthfully. And that's kind of what got us into this problem to begin with, was thinking we could outsmart the system. That's honestly probably what got RDAP law consultants into this problem. I imagine they were doing at least 6 figures a month in revenue, that's a lot considering, we might not do that in a whole year. If your main objective to get into this industry is just to make as much money as fast as possible, you're doing it for the wrong reasons, because anybody that's gone into the system, whether it's nonviolent, violent, first-time offender, anybody that's gone into it, white-collar individuals, $10 an hour individuals, going into the system for the first time is intimidating. It's scary, it's anxiety, you don't know what's next. And as a prison consultant, your job should be to reduce the fear and anxiety, to help them deal with the day-to-day, how they should be explaining things to their children, your family, your wife, your husband, what you should be doing with your free time, engaging in the community, whether you're doing community service or speaking engagements, going to meetings. If you truly have a substance abuse problem and you're not taking it serious right now and you're just going to try to get into RDAP, but you're not doing things like AA or NA, I would doubt you. If I was a judge and you told me I have a substance abuse problem and you're asking for this treatment in prison, I'd ask you, well, what have you been doing while you're out of prison? And if you're like, well, nothing, or thinking about it, but you're not going to meetings, I'd be a little crossed in my mind as to how to take that if I were a judge. Not that a judge can grant or deny you RDAP, it's ultimately up to the BOP, but if you're asking for a recommendation from a judge, I hope you're doing what's necessary right now and putting in the work, because you don't just show up to court and expect the judge to hear what you're saying and believe you. If you can create some growth in your life right now and have your audio match your video, so if your audio is saying, I need help, I want help, and he looks into the video of your life and you show that you've been going to meetings, you're giving back to the community, you're really trying to make amends for the mistakes that you made, you're not playing the victim card any longer, you're not blaming everybody else for the situation you're in, you're not saying somebody told on me. Nobody goes to prison because they were told on. You're not going to go to prison because you got snitched on. That may be something that helps you go to prison, but chances are somebody snitched on you because you allowed yourself to make some poor decisions in the first place, and that's what's sending you to prison. So if you get stuck on so-and-so told on me, and that's where you're starting your reference to go forward, and you're not backing it up a little bit going, well, I did have those drugs in my car, or I was hanging out with that person with a gun, or I was trying to file less taxes than what I really made, or I was taking kickbacks from a doctor, or I am a doctor taking kickbacks from insurance companies, or I am a doctor overcharging Medicare and Medicaid. That's what got you into this situation to begin with. And that's the situation that you got to start identifying, because that's what's going to, once you identify that, that's what's going to prevent you from making those mistakes in the future. So for all of you out there that are going, if somebody didn't tell on me, I wouldn't be going to prison, you're full of shit, because people go to prison every single day. And I see people in prison all of the time that are like, well, I didn't tell on nobody, or I didn't snitch on nobody. And granted, there are some people in there that really, really, really keep their mouth shut. But for the most part, a lot of those people are in situations where there's really nobody to tell on. You're in a situation maybe by yourself, or you're not necessarily part of a conspiracy. And yeah, okay, you didn't tell anybody because there was nobody to tell on. Or you weren't going to be helpful, or it was too late, or you were the low man on the totem pole and everybody else told on you first. Point is you put yourself into that situation, not the person that told on you. There are some rare instances where maybe somebody truly is innocent and they got wrongly accused. I know there's people in prison right now that are doing time for crimes that probably didn't commit, but the average person I talk to, once we really break it down and you really get to the root of the problem and you look at that foundation, their foundation is fucked up and diluted. And that's what sent them to prison. And that's where the process is, where we want to work with you to help you understand that. Because until you can clean that out, until you can pop that pimple, it's all just surface level. You're just going to grow new issues and new problems if you don't deal with the real issues at root. So man, I'm telling you, dump gasoline on your problems, light them on fire, and start fresh. You know, get a fresh playing field, start rebuilding from there, because you can't start from the top down. You really need to go all the way down, below the building up, and hit it. That's where you got to go from. Have a great day at the gym, Jess. We want to see a picture like that when you're done. Oh, you can't see my arm because my daughter's in there. We want to see a nice flexing picture of you. Post one of those on the YouTube community board for us. What else we got here? Super cold in Boston. Chicago's, yeah, you guys are freezing all around. Just found your channel. Jack Jones, appreciate you, welcome. And if you want to share how you found my channel, probably I'm going to imagine it's from like maybe After Prison Show or APS. You know, guys, good intentions don't mean shit. I had the best of intentions when I put up that video about Joe After Prison Show. He created the GoFundMe, and I would say 85–90% of you were pretty supportive of that. But a lot of, I'm going to say idiots, a lot of the drone idiots out there that follow YouTubers and just, I don't know, I want to call them like groupies, like YouTube groupies. Just, I'm doing this for likes, and I'm doing this to grow my channel. Anybody that has a YouTube channel wants to grow their channel. You got to be a complete moron to think somebody doesn't want to grow their channel. But the video I made was not with the intent to grow my channel. Of course, that's going to be the byproduct of posting a video, is you're going to get subscribers, views, likes, dislikes. That's part of it. So to all of you YouTube haters out there, unsubscribe, don't like, jump off a fucking cliff. I don't care. I posted that video because my heart went out to Joe when he posted a video. Those of you that say if Joe wanted that video, he would have asked you, or this is a very private time for him. Why are you talking about this? He posted a video on YouTube for the world to see. I didn't expose this, he did. So if he didn't want me to share that information, he shouldn't have posted stuff on YouTube for the world to see. It baffles me how simple-minded individuals can be. I posted that video because Shelly and I also went through experience a few years ago with the loss of a miscarried child. And to see Joe share that and be vulnerable, it touched something in me. And I got up at 3 in the morning that day and thought, I want to do a video. Maybe the GoFundMe was too far. My intentions were good. I wanted to help. And I knew in the bottom of my heart, I knew Joe doesn't need that money, but I've seen the things that Joe has been doing on his channel, giving back to other individuals, helping people like Danny, Yanni, Dave, some other guy he's helping now. Seems like he does a lot. So I figured if he doesn't need the money, which I don't think that he does, I'm sure he's making a great living off of YouTube. I'm sure we can all agree that he's making somewhere in the neighborhood of worst case scenario, 10,000, best case scenario, 30, 40 grand a month off of YouTube. The money that we were creating for the GoFundMe was for him to decide how he wanted to use it, and trusting from the videos that he's done, helping others, I felt pretty confident that he was going to use it for good. However, Joe posted a video on Twitch that he would not accept the GoFundMe. So I'm not going to sit here and continue to raise money on a GoFundMe that Joe's not going to accept. So I ended the GoFundMe. I've never done a GoFundMe before, so I do not know, or I did not know how difficult it was to get a hold of GoFundMe. I jumped through a bunch of hoops, finally was able to get an email sent off to GoFundMe, and I'm waiting for a response. And in that email, it stated that the person we were raising money for does not want to accept the funds. Please refund all of the donors that donated money. I have not received an email back from GoFundMe. I do not know how long it takes for you to receive your refunds from GoFundMe. My phone number is on the screen. If you have questions and you donated money and you want to know how to get your money back, I would imagine you contact GoFundMe and say, give me my refund because the GoFundMe was discontinued. And maybe that's how you get a refund. But I don't have the power to hit a button and send a refund. It doesn't exist. There's no way for me to go refund, refund, refund. If there was, I would have done it already. So I have received a message from a couple of you. What's up, Brian? Brian from Bounce Back. Thanks, brother. Guys, if you haven't checked out, I'm going to do a video here probably maybe next week when I get back to Washington on why it's important for people that have been to prison to put their story on YouTube. Because people like Brian from Bounce Back, he's got a great YouTube name, first off, because not just, I mean, the name Bounce Back is good in itself, but for him specifically, bouncing back for somebody that, you know, originally was charged with first-degree murder, capital murder, possibly facing a death penalty, to then get all that dropped and reduced to eventually, I think it was manslaughter, but still get sentenced to a 10-year prison bid, escapes from prison because the judge told him if you hadn't gone to trial, I don't think anybody would have found you guilty. Still sentencing him to 10 years for whatever, which is crazy in my mind. But he tried to escape, got caught, spent, you know, what, 36 months or something like that in solitary confinement. Didn't go crazy. Maybe he went a little crazy while he was there. Maybe he's still a little crazy. Who fucking knows? But he's on YouTube sharing his story, exposing what he went through in the hopes of, you know, growing a YouTube channel just like everybody else, but also hoping others can learn from his mistakes. So that's kind of why it's such a needed thing to see people that have gone through hardship turn their lives around. And the other reason, why would that be? I guess the question I would say is, why would that be important for somebody like my viewers that are first-time nonviolent offenders, not looking at a long period of time? Because those of you that are getting ready to go into, let's say, a white-collar type of a prison setting or a nonviolent, low minimum security prison sentence, you're thinking your life might be over, or this is going to change you for the rest of your life. It can change you for the rest of your life. It can be a positive change or a negative change, depending how you look on it. But if you look at somebody like Brian or Jessica Kent, Jessica Kent was a severe drug addict, got her life turned around. She spent time in prison. She's got a YouTube channel sharing her stories. It shows you that they were, for the most part, at a much worse position in life than a lot of you are. Not saying everybody, but for a lot of you that are going to prison, you're not going to be dealing with half of the stresses they dealt with, and they were able to turn their life around and turn this into a positive experience. So the point is, if they can do it, if I can do it, so can you. And it's all about people sharing their story. So you can pick, you know, if there's only one person out there doing YouTube video that went to prison and said, I turned my life around, then you could go, yeah, you're one out of a million. You're one out of a million, Dan. But now you've got Brian, you've got Jessica, you've got Josh, you've got Joe, you've got Big Herc, another guy named Beaver or Badger or something. I don't know, Badger? Beaver? Badger? They're like the same animal. I don't know. I think his name's Beaver. Or maybe Badger. I don't know. You guys can correct me if you know. But the point is, they've all turned their lives around. And they're turning a negative into a positive. And it sounds so fucking cliche, but Jesus Christ, it's fucking true. It's all about choices. And once you're sick and tired of the life that you live and you don't want to live like that anymore, and no longer the main concern is money, not that money shouldn't be a concern, but when you put other priorities above money, then money starts to come automatically. When your priorities are, you start from like the ground floor and you say, okay, all of my decisions, I'm going to check my decisions because I'm known for making shitty decisions or I wouldn't have got in trouble to begin with. I'm known for having irrational thinking or else I wouldn't be here in the first place, right? So when you can identify that your irrational thinking is what got you into this problem, and you've somehow convinced yourself that your irrational thinking was really rational this whole time, when you can start challenging yourself and asking yourself that hard question, then you can start second-guessing everything you do. Am I doing this for the right reasons? And when you can honestly say to yourself, I'm doing this for the right reasons. And there is no right reason to go rob a bank. There is no right reason to go steal. There is no right reason to go defraud the government. You can justify it and say, well, the government does it to everybody else, and the government breaks all of these rules. Okay, not saying they don't, but that doesn't make it okay for you to do it, because we all know that you're going to be the one that pays the price, and no one's going to want to hear your bullshit sob story about, well, it's not fair that I have to pay taxes. Okay, it's not fair. Life ain't fair. So once you got that down and you really challenge yourself, am I doing this for the right reason? You stop making bullshit justifications, then money will start coming automatically because you start doing something out of passion. You start doing something out of a belief. You start doing it because it makes you feel good. And you realize you can sleep at night. You're not worrying about a knock on your door or running from the cops or thinking, is today the day that they're going to come and get me? People like idiots like RDAP law consultants who could have done exactly what they were doing completely legit and still made quite a bit of money. If they'd spent that type of money on marketing and advertising and really gave people the real situation, here's how you really qualify for RDAP without lying to them, without getting them to manipulate the system, they may have gotten less clients, but they still would have made a shitload of money. They still would have had a great living and doing something that they can be proud of and not have to worry about using fake fucking names. How these morons thought they were going to get this far is beyond me. But the feds in Connecticut grabbed a hold of them. These guys are wrapped up right now. They were denied bond. One of the guys, I forgot his name, he was given bond, but he was released to a halfway house, not to home. So he's still being watched and monitored like a hawk. Will they go to prison? I think so. These guys are all spent time in prison before, and now they abused, manipulated people, took advantage of people's weaknesses and their needs, and they're probably going to go back to prison again. And there probably will be ripple effects. I'm sure if you're a prison consultant out there right now, I know you'll never admit to watching my channel because your ego is like through the fucking roof. Every time I talk to a prison consultant, I'm like, oh yeah, I just saw your... Come on. I know every prison consultant in the industry. I do my homework. I watch if they have videos. I go to their websites and read their websites. And honestly, if I read something on their websites, it's like, wow, that's really good information. Guess what I'm going to do? Copy and paste and retype it and use it on my own website, because the whole objective is putting out good information and content to help people that are going through something that's very rough in their life. And that's what my channel is about. My channel is not targeted to entertain. I wish I could be more entertaining. I wish I could do backflips and ride on a fucking unicycle and juggle while I'm sitting here talking to you, but then it would lose its meaning, and this channel is designed for individuals that are going through the roughest point of their life. And I'm not going to lie, I love making YouTube videos. I get a high off of it. It's fun coming up with the idea. It's fun sitting here talking to you guys, and that's why I go on to these rambles. Let's see. I'm reading some messages here. I got to read them from my phone because I'm using my laptop today. Bounce back. Man, I appreciate all the content I'm getting from you today, Bounce Back and Jess. Clout chasing. I hate that term, clout chasing. The Exxon, clout chasing. I don't even know what he's talking about. I know what he's talking about, but I don't know what made him say that. Let's see. Bounce Back has some awesome content. Yes, he does. Everyone has the ability to make a situation positive. OG Badger. Thanks, Mike. Appreciate it, Mike Winter. So Badger, that's his name, not Beaver. I apologize, Badger, if you're watching this video. Apologize. I do like your content. I just forgot your name. It's early here. It's 9:52, which I'm still on West Coast time. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Well, I'm not using a laptop. I mean, I am using a laptop, Brian, but I brought my webcam. It's way up here. But I'm saying I'm not using my normal setup at home, my Mac. Well, I'm on a Mac, but you know what I mean. Yeah, I got a Mac, the big iMac at home. I'm using my little MacBook Pro here. So I'm on the go right now. I'm traveling. I have met a couple clients while I was up here, so I was able to. Ooh, that sun just hit me. I was able to make a business trip out of this, which was really cool. I got more clients in New York than I think any other state. I didn't realize that until I said I was coming here, and it's like out of the woodwork. Dan, can you help me? Dan, can you help me? Dan, can you come see me? It's like, fuck, I'm only here for a couple of days, guys. But I am going to hopefully go see a client of mine, Will, today. Will's a client who ended up getting probation, who also runs a radio show up here. So I'm going to go probably hang out, have lunch with him today, and just see how he's doing. It's amazing to see people turn their lives around. And man, helping somebody get probation, that's one of the best feelings. And, you know, in so many other situations in life, probation sounds like, oh my God, you got probation, that's horrible. But like getting probation when you're looking at 5-6 years, that's a fucking victory. Any way you look at it, that is a huge victory. My daughter graduated while I was in prison. Heartbreak. Yes, you know, I was, when I first was looking at going to prison, I was looking at, originally I was looking at like 20 years. And then when I started looking at the plea agreement, I was still looking at like 60 months. And I was like, man, am I going to be out before my kids graduate, or at least my older daughter graduates? And I imagine that must have been really hard, Brian, like knowing your daughter is graduating while you're sitting in prison. Heartbreaking. It really is, because you already feel helpless as it is. And I imagine it makes you feel so self-destructive inside, like you're 2 inches tall. That's got to be hard on your kids too. I imagine if you ever have that talk with your daughter, like what was it like graduating knowing that I wasn't sitting there watching? I imagine that's got to be really hard on a child. It was cool. Yesterday during the graduation, there was these 2 kids that got up that were giving a speech, and it was the girl was the one that was graduating. She had a brother with her. Her brother's 20-something, and he just got released from state prison 2 weeks ago off of an 8-year prison sentence. And they both stood up there and actually brought tears to everybody's eyes, because he never graduated. You know, he never got to experience it. So she shared her graduation with her brother, which was just probably the highlight of the night. Over everybody else, that probably like just took the cake for everybody. It definitely brought tears to my eyes, and just thinking about it, it makes me teary-eyed again. But it was such a beautiful experience to be able to witness, and the fact that this girl wanted to share this with her brother. And then when you look back, and I took video of all this yesterday, guys. I'm going to upload this when I get back. But seeing the mother get to watch this, it was just so heartbreaking and beautiful at the same time, because you know the mother, her son, in prison for 8 years. Now here he is standing up there helping his daughter accept her diploma. Silent. You could hear a pin drop in there. It's a beautiful moment. So that's really all I got for you guys. So I just wanted to share a little bit. Me and Shelly, we're going to hang out with my kids a little bit today when they get out of school. Well, my older daughter's probably sleeping right now. I think she went out last night to celebrate with her friends. But I'm going to see them a little bit later on this afternoon. And then Shelly and I are going to go out. We're going to hit the city. We're going to have dinner, a couple of drinks, and just have a good time in the city. We're leaving tomorrow at 2 o'clock. Our flight leaves to go back to Washington State. Wish I could say I was going to like South Florida or Miami or something. But I could use some sunshine right about now. Thanks, B. I appreciate it, man. B, you and I got to get on video here again soon, man. We got to do some more convict collaborations. Those are fun, you know. And that's me being able to really let loose and just talk about whatever, you know, really talk about absolutely whatever. I've been doing a lot of interviews on Mike Situation Sorrentino from Jersey Shore, which has been really cool. I've been getting a lot of calls from press on that, because I'm a prison consultant, so they reach out. They want to know what it's really going to be like for him in prison, and you know the guy's living it up. They might transfer him. There's been so much publicity at that prison where he's at right now, but I think they might move him from the prison, because the prison's probably getting overwhelmed with media and paparazzi and everything else. I didn't even know this guy was still that big. I will. I'll send a link. We'll do a link, and we'll link up as soon as I get back to Washington, Brian. Maybe we'll get Jess on and somebody else. Maybe OG Badger wants to join us. Badger's a fun guy to watch. And I apologize, Badger, again, if you're watching this video. I don't know why Beaver came to mind. But Beaver wouldn't be a bad YouTube name. That'd be kind of funny, too. And I'm curious to know where the name Badger came from. Maybe there's a story behind that. Well, guys, I'm RDAP Dan, Federal Prison Time Consulting. And again, to my beautiful, awesome daughter, Kaitlyn Wise, congratulations on your graduation. Congratulations on your graduation. Definitely going to go down as one of the best days in my life. 18 years ago, watching that little baby be born and to where she is now, and just such a thoughtful, smart, intelligent, very self-aware young adult. I think you're going to do awesome, amazing things. So that's all I got to say, guys. I'm RDAP Dan. No, thank you. Federal Prison Time Consulting, RDAP Dan, one day at a time, people help people, community as method. All right, guys, and to those APS haters out there, guess what you can do?